Main video 718. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. You got something to say? Let's have a conversation.
What if one phone call could have changed the course of music history? Imagine, if you will, a time when the heat was rising and the stakes were high in the hip-hop industry. A time when the tension between two of the most influential labels, Bad Boy Records and Death Row Records, was escalating at an alarming rate. The rivalry was fierce, harsher.
And one other thing I'd like to say, any artists out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star, don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the record, dancing. Come to Death Row.
It was during this turbulent time that the tragic death of Tupac Shakur occurred. The iconic rapper was brutally gunned down in Las Vegas following a Mike Tyson fight, an event that shocked the world and intensified the already heated feud between Bad Boy and Death Row. This wasn't just a disagreement over music, it was a war, and it was tearing the hip-hop community apart, brick by brick, rhyme by rhyme. The tension was palpable, like a thick fog that had settled over the industry, making it hard to see clearly, to think rationally. On one side of the feud was Bad Boy Records, led by Sean P. Diddy Combs, and on the other side was Death Row Records, helmed by Suge Knight. Each side had its loyal soldiers, its dedicated followers, and its own unique style of music. But the rivalry between them was about more than just music. It was about power, respect, and territory. And in the midst of this chaotic feud, a decision was about to be made that would change everything.
By 504.
504.
Leaving Kennedy on the LAX.
Oh, Cali?
No doubt, baby. No, we gotta get this paper.
No doubt. All right. I'm out.
Yo, big.
Everything. A decision that, in retrospect, seems so simple, so obvious. But at the time, amidst the whirlwind of anger, pride, and fear, it was a decision that was overlooked, dismissed, and ultimately ignored. But what if things had been different? What if that one phone call, that one warning, had been heeded? Could the course of music history have been altered? Could the tragic loss of one of hip-hop's brightest stars have been prevented? And in the midst of this chaotic feud, a decision was about to be made that would change everything. But what happens when warnings go unheeded? Picture this. P. Diddy, at the height of his career, decides to head to LA for Andre Harrell's party. Now this might sound like an ordinary trip, but it wasn't. This was a journey into the heart of a battleground. The East Coast and West Coast were locked in a feud, a beef that had the entire hip-hop world on edge. P. Diddy's bodyguard, a man named Wolf, wasn't oblivious to the danger. He knew the stakes and he had a condition. He wanted a bus, stocked with guns and his people. If they were to venture into the lion's den, he wanted to be prepared for anything that the West Coast might throw at them. This was no idle demand. This was a call for caution, a plea for prudence. But sometimes the music is too loud, the party too enticing, and the warning signs get drowned out. P. Diddy, caught up in the allure of the LA scene and the promise of Andre Harrell's party, decided to ignore Wolf's warnings. There's a saying, pride comes before a fall. Perhaps it was pride, perhaps it was the invincibility that fame often bestows upon its bearers. Whatever it was, it led P. Diddy to take a gamble with stakes too high. He decided to go to LA. He chose to step into the belly of the beast, accompanied by Biggie Smalls and the Mafia. They were stepping onto enemy turf, fully aware of the tensions simmering beneath the surface, fully aware of the danger that awaited them, but they went, nonetheless. They say hindsight is 20/20. Looking back, it's easy to see the red flags, the alarm bells ringing loud and clear. But in the moment, caught up in the whirlwind of fame and fortune, those warning signs can be easy to ignore. Yet, against all odds and warnings, P. Diddy went to Los Angeles with Biggie Smalls and the Mafia. Let's delve into the unanswered calls that could have altered the course of hip-hop history. While in Los Angeles, Biggie Smalls, the iconic figure of East Coast hip-hop, started receiving threatening calls. The city, known for its sunshine and palm trees, was now casting ominous shadows. But these calls were ignored, dismissed as empty threats, perhaps. Imagine for a moment, you're in a city where you've got beef with the powers that be. Your presence isn't just unwelcome, it's seen as a provocation. And then the phone rings. The voice on the other end carries a warning, a plea to get out while you still can. What would you do? Biggie, however, chose to ignore these calls. Perhaps he believed in his invincibility, or maybe he simply underestimated the gravity of the situation. Whatever the reason, the calls kept coming, and they kept being ignored. And then came the call that should have changed everything. It came from the ADX Max jail, from Mecca to Gene, a warning as clear as day.
It's like me from the crack era. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna even give you this one. That's why Big Gene Deal talk about that joint. We down there in ADX. You understand what I'm saying? When the Tupac and Biggie bullshit going on, California acting like they got an attitude. No disrespect to California, love them to death. But niggas acting like they attitude, so I push up on them. Yo, what's up? I mean, yo, you gonna die for this? You know what I mean? Because you bringing me into something, I don't give a fuck what them doing on the street. I got life. I'm trying to get out of jail. You know what I mean? So you let me know if me and you got to beef. Because right now, I'm ready to take yours. Or you got to take mine. But we not going to walk around here gritting because I'm from the East and you from the West. What them doing on the street, that's that free world. He got so scared, he told me straight up, man, they trying to kill Biggie, man. Them God, they going to kill him. You know what I mean? So I went and got on the phone. I called, my girl told her to call Big G. And let Big G know, yo, tell Diddy and niggas don't go out there. You know what I mean? Don't go out there. Niggas get ready. They put a hit on them. This is real. They don't go out there. You know what I mean? And Gene told them they ain't listening. It happened, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? But I tried to warn the brothers. You know what I mean? Because we all from the town. You know what I mean? So I'm just letting you know that, you know, I done been through hell. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not supposed to be sitting on this couch. I know I'm not supposed to be sitting on this couch. No one thought there was this, because now that's looking at this, they're saying, I can't believe that nigga home. Not that crazy. I know you need not home. I'm telling you what this is saying.
This was not just another threatening call. This was a lifeline, a final chance to evade the looming catastrophe. But this call, too, was ignored. This warning, delivered 3 days before Biggie Smalls was killed, fell on deaf ears. Was it pride? Was it disbelief? Or was it a fatalistic acceptance of what was to come? We may never know. What we do know is that this call, this last lifeline, was left unanswered. In the City of Angels, the ignored calls were the unheeded warnings of a brewing storm. It's a chilling reminder of the importance of heeding warnings, of listening when life gives you a call, because sometimes that call could be the one that saves it all. Oh, what if a call from a maximum security prison was the last chance to avert a disaster? Picture this. A chilling voice echoing from the cold steel walls of ADX Max jail, a place where the most dangerous are kept away from society, a voice desperate to warn of impending doom. This was the voice of Mecca, reaching out to Gene with a dire warning, a warning that was meant for P. Diddy, a warning that was meant to save lives. P. Diddy, Biggie Smalls, and the entire entourage were in Los Angeles, the City of Angels that was turning into a city of demons for them. The West Coast was not their turf, and they were well aware of the brewing storm. Yet they chose to ignore the warning signs. 3 days. Just 3 days before the tragic end of Biggie Smalls, a call was made. Mecca, from the depths of the maximum security prison, reached out. He had information that could have possibly changed the course of hip-hop history. "Get out of LA. They're coming to kill y'all," he warned. These words, heavy with dread and urgency, were meant to be a lifeline, a call that could have saved it all. Yet it fell on deaf ears. Why didn't P. Diddy heed this warning? Was it pride, bravado, or a mere underestimation of the danger lurking in the shadows of LA? We may never know. What we do know is that this ignored call became a haunting echo, a chilling reminder of a disaster that could have been averted. Could this call have saved Biggie Smalls? Could it have prevented the tragic end of an icon? Could it have rewritten the pages of hip-hop history? These questions linger, echoing in the annals of hip-hop lore. A warning, a plea, a desperate call for help, but why didn't P. Diddy listen? The call that could have saved it all remains an intriguing piece of this complex puzzle, a chilling reminder of a disaster that was waiting to happen. All it needed was one person to listen. Christopher Wallace, known to the world as Biggie Smalls, was taken from us in the prime of his life, a star extinguished in its brightest phase, a voice silenced just as it was reaching its most potent crescendo. The loss was not just a personal one for those who knew him, but a cultural one for the entire world of hip-hop. Biggie's death was not just the loss of an individual, but the loss of a symbol, a beacon of creativity and innovation in the world of hip-hop. In the end, the call that could have saved it all was left unanswered, and the course of music history was forever changed.
Drop in the comments and let me know what y'all think about the video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. Let's have a conversation. Peace.